Microsoft Word. Learn bullets, numbers, and list inside and out. Presented by Log On to Learn. Today's objectives will include create single level list. We'll show you ways to create a list, ways to exit a list, format bullets and numbers, and also paste a link into a second list. We'll follow that up with create multiple level lists. Define what a multiple level list is, as well as use the list library. We'll start out by defining bullets and numbering, and then answer the question when to use a bulleted list and when to use a numbered list. About bulleted lists. Writing content in the form of a bulleted list may help you more effectively communicate with your audience. Bulleted lists use a special type of paragraph indent called a hanging indent, where the first line is even with the left margin, while the subsequent lines in the paragraph are indented. This makes the bullet stand out and is more easily skimmed by readers for important information. You can also change the bullets and have more than one level of bullet. Each new level is indented further than the previous. When to use bulleted lists. Any list of 3 or more items where the sequence doesn't matter should be a bulleted list. When to use a numbered list. Use numbered lists for sharing a sequence of information. For instance, a set of directions that need to be followed in a particular order. I'm going to start by going over the location of where you can find bullets and numbering. Go under the Home tab, Paragraph group, and in this area right here is the bullets and numbering that we're going to be working with today. The first item right here you see is bullets, numbering, and then our multi-list level. All 3 of these lists actually have drop-down arrows just to the right. So if I click on this, take a look at under the bulleted list. So instead of just choosing the default bullet, I have some options. Recently used bullets, the bullet library, and document bullets. So let's say, for instance, somebody sent you a document and it contains, let's say, a unique type of bullet that maybe you haven't used before, and you need to add another bulleted list to the document. You're going to be able to choose from this list right here. Also, you'll see that there's a couple of different options that are available down below here, and anything that has a few words like this define new bullets ... or this little ellipsis, that just means we're going to get a dialog box of additional choices. So by clicking on that, you'll notice that I get a dialog box with some additional options, and we'll go over this in just a few minutes. Same is true under the numbering. You'll see that we have some options available here as well, and under our multi-list. Now I'm going to start out with a simple bulleted list. Now you can see that I've typed out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I've decided that I would like to set this in a little and use a bulleted list. There's really a couple ways to do this. One is to build the bullets as you're typing, or to apply the bullets afterwards. I think overall it's probably easier to do it afterwards, but again, you may want to see the bullets as you're typing in your text. So we'll start out with just taking this list here, these 3 items, and we'll apply a simple bullet. So I'm going to highlight the 3 items, and I'm going to go up to my bullet button, and I'm going to click on it. And notice how it is indented. You can even look up here on the ruler, and you'll see that we have a first line indent and our hanging indent. First line indent is referring to this location right here. Hanging indent is referring to everything after that. Now suppose you wanted a different style bullet than the default black round bullet. Well, you can come right here under the drop down, and you can even hover over any of the bullets that you see in your bullet gallery or library. And you get a live preview of each of these bullets. The other way to do this is to type as you go, and there's really a couple different ways to do that. One is you might want to just click right on the button and start typing in your bulleted list. The other way is there is a keyboard shortcut, and that is the asterisk symbol followed by the tab key, and that will automatically give you a bullet. Now there's going to come a point where if you're certainly using the bulleted list as you type, you're going to find that you're going to want to end this bulleted list at some point in time. And there's really a couple different ways of doing this. Notice I hit enter after Friday and another bullet appears. But let's say I am done with the bulleted list and I would like now to type in maybe a paragraph below that or just be done with the bullets. Well, there's three different ways of doing this. One is to just enter a second time. And notice my insertion point now has moved out to the left and is lined up with the other paragraphs. Or notice this button right up here. It's orange. Orange means it's pushed in. I can simply just push it back in and cancel it. Also, if you click on the drop down, you'll notice some of the options or other bullets that you can use. There's also a none option here as well, and that will do the same thing. One of the other options that I've used I use it quite a bit here, is the Format Painter, which is found right here. This is a great way, and let me just do this. I'll turn off the bullet for Friday, so I'm going to click on Friday. I'm just going to click on this button here, which will cancel it. And you notice that Friday is aligned with this paragraph right here. If I want this Friday to look like this right here, I can simply just click on what it is that I like. So for instance, I like this bulleted list Monday. Click on my Format Paintbrush, which copies the formatting, and just click on Friday. And it will now apply the correct bullet to this word. So that's using the Format Painter. Now there's two options with the Format Painter. Let me go ahead and remove these three. By clicking on Monday again, the formatting that I like, I can double click on the Format Painter, and that will give me multiple options. So I can just keep applying that bullet to certain words or word. I can also apply it even to this paragraph right above. Now you're probably wondering, how do you turn this thing off? Notice this also has an orange button here, meaning that it is pushed in. If I push it back in, I can cancel it. One of the things that I find is people that have used bullets in the past have had a struggle with them. Whether it's the bullets or the numbering, maybe the numbering more than the bullets, but you have a struggle with it. So you've decided that you're going to create your own bullets. And really what I want you to do is be kind of careful with that. When you create your own bullets or numbering and not using Word and not using these tools up here, what you're doing is creating a problem down the road. So when you delete a paragraph or you add another paragraph in, or even just change the structure of the document, your bullets and numbering are not going to reflect that. Whereas if you use Word, Word will pick up on that. Word will know that you deleted number 7 and now shifts everything up to accommodate that. Whereas if you just type a 7 in there and you get rid of 7, well then you're going to have to now take 8, make that one 7, and so on, and to get your list made correctly. So make sure that you are using this. Again, one of the struggles that most people have is, how do I end when I get to the end of my bullets? How do I get rid of it? So remember, there's several different ways. A second enter, clicking on this button right here, or choosing the none. Now, there may be times where you want to create let's say, a second level bulleted list. So let's take a look here. Let me just scroll down. And let's say I've got a little grocery list going on here. Actually, I'm going to go to two different places here, and I have a list to pick up. So I have my grocery store, Food for Less grocery store, that I want to pick up these items right here. And then I'm going to go over to Costco, and I'm going to pick up these items right here. So what I would like to do is have this maybe be a sub-bullet. So there's going to be bullets under this particular item right here. So for instance, maybe I want a main level bullet, and then I might want some sub-bullets or levels under that. And really there's a couple different ways to do this. Since I already have it all typed out, I can simply just highlight the whole list, come right up here and give it a bulleted list. But you'll notice that they're all the same level. So that's not going to work quite exactly the way I want this to look. So then I could come over here and just highlight the list that I have for my Food for Less. And there's a couple different ways to, I call it demoting or changing the level of the bullet. So I call it demoting and kind of promoting as far as what the level is going to be. So if I want to move it to the right, well, then that would be demoting. If I wanted to move it to the left, then I would call that promoting. And like I said, there's a couple different ways to do that. You actually have two buttons right over here under the paragraph grouping that will allow us to do this as well. Notice we have increase indent. So let's see what happens when we do that. It demotes that particular list of items. Hit it again, and it gives me the next level down. This one right here is the decrease, which is going to now move it up a level. So that's one way to do it. We can also use the tab key. The tab key will do the same thing, and it will move us one step to the right. The shift tab key, so shift and tab, will move us back and promote that list in the bullet. So again, you can just click on one, tab it over, click on one, and you can use the increase. Or again, you can always use your format painter. If you double click it, you can always click and grab certain ones as well. So there's many different ways to apply bullets, make them sub-bullets, by using some of the tools that you're seeing here now. And again, I'm going to turn off that format painter by clicking on this. Again, if I decided that I wanted this TV to be out here and promote that, again, I have the increase or I have the shift tab. Also, there may be a time where you would like to maybe format your bullets, make them look a little bit different, maybe a little bit larger, and that can be all done very quickly and easily as well. So if I click on this, you'll notice I'm on this level right here. It's all selected, the main level. And what I can do is I can come right up here, and I can certainly work with the Home tab and the font location, or I can come here, which I'll show you in just a minute, and I can go down here and talk about define new bullets. So we'll start with it right here. So I'll change it to, let's say, red. I'll change it to, I'll make it a little bit larger, so I'll bump it up. And notice it's affecting the actual bullet itself. Now I'll go ahead and undo those steps, and I'll show you another way to do that as well. So going under the bullet drop-down and going under define new bullets, this is where I can come in and actually have some fun. I can create symbols. So instead of just these little dots here, maybe I want some symbols, and you can certainly choose from any of the symbols that are available in this list and apply those. And then, of course, you can make them larger if you need to. You can also go to the picture library. And the picture library gives you a ton of different options here. So maybe you want something a little bit more exciting in your document. I'll scroll through a few of these so you can see them. And you can apply these very quickly and easily. So it's even giving you a preview of what it looks like. If I say OK, notice how it's added to this first level. Also, when I click on the drop down, notice it's in my most recent. It's been added to my bullet library, and as well as now that it's in the document, you'll see that you'll see it posted here as well. If I change this back to, let's say, just a regular bullet, let's see what else we had for an option under there. Define new bullet, and then we have font. And font basically is the same area that you're looking at right here, but just in a dialog box. So again, if you want to change the size or you want to change the style or even the font, you'll be able to do that as well. And you get what we call a preview here. So if I make this a little bit larger, you'll see the preview there. And if I certainly change the color, you'll see the preview here as well. Now I'm just going to cancel that. You can also do this with a lower level. So if I click on this, I can also affect this as well. And you can see just hovering over some of the options, I get the live preview. Numbered lists are needed when the list items should be following a sequence. So the document I have here, you can see that we have several different paragraphs right here, and these are the steps to add the company blog news feed to your RSS feeds in Outlook. You need to follow these steps in this exact order, step 1, 2, 3, and so on. So what we're going to do is make sure that we add that in so that the user will be able to follow those steps very, very easily and know that they're in a particular order and that they need to complete step 1 before they move on to step 2. Now to do this, since they're already been typed in, we can simply just select them and come right up to our numbered list. Click it, and we get our standard numbers. Again, right next to this button here is a drop-down list where we have additional options. And you can see I'm just going to hover over a few of these and get what we call live preview. And you'll see that we have Roman numerals, we have the letters of the alphabet in a uppercase or lowercase. And we have, again, some different grouping under here, just like you saw under the bulleted list, as well as some other modifications and changes that we can do here as well. So even change list level, so we can even make it a lower level if we need to, depending on, again, how we're applying this. Even set number value, I'm going to show you a little bit about this before. You might have fought with Word as you're numbering something, and then you go to number something else, and Word decides to restart the numbering. Or it decides to continue the numbering and you want it to restart the numbering. So there are a couple different ways of doing this. There is a much faster way, but we certainly can get to it from the set numbering value. As you saw in bullets, if you are going to add the numbering list as you're typing, you are going to eventually come to the point where you're not going to want it to continue and you're going to want to cancel it. So again, we have several different ways of doing this. We can click here to cancel it. We can click on the drop down and choose the none, or we can hit enter again. We can also type a list in. So let me just hit enter a couple more times here. And if you want to type a list in that starts with a number 1 and so on, you would just type in the number 1 with a period and then hit the tab key. And it will automatically start a numbered list for you. You can also start a lettered list, so starting with the letter A by typing in the letter A, period, tab key, and that will automatically start it as well. So it's a little bit quicker than coming right up here to this list and choosing either a number or a letter. What I'd like to do is show you a couple of little problems that you might run into and how to address those. So let's say, for instance, here's my 6 steps. And I really want to add this one in here, and I know it's kind of a unique situation because you're wondering, well, why would I have a heading here or a title here and then have step 7 continue? But I want to show you just a couple of different options because you are going to run into a situation where Word is going to try to number something, but it's not numbering it the way that you specifically want it. So I'm going to click in this Launch Internet Explorer 7. All right, so what I want to do here is I want this paragraph here, Launch Internet Explorer 7, to be number 7. Now, there might be a little bit of a problem here because you can see that I'm not including this row that's above it. What you do is you just kind of click in the paragraph or the word or words in your list that you would like to include it in the numbered list. Click on your button. And notice that it's trying to reset. It's figuring that there's enough space between here and here, plus there's this paragraph right here, so it should automatically start with a number 1, which in most cases it probably should. But notice this little lightning bolt right to the left of the number 1. This is called the autocorrect options. And this is really going to save you a lot of aggravation when Word is trying to number something in a different order in which you would like it. You click on the drop down and it will give you the opposite choice. So in this case it says, well, you know, I thought you wanted to go with number 1 because it just makes sense the way the document's laid out. So I chose continue numbering and you notice that there's now a number 7. Same is true if I click here. Again, it looks like it's following this, but maybe I want this to start out with it restarting the number back to 1. And I can click on that and I can restart my list. So again, there's a couple different options here. We do have this option that we're looking at right here, but we also have the option in the drop down where we can define a new number format. So this one here allows us to choose a different format. So instead of maybe the numbering that I have going on here, I can choose from some of these different options that are available here, as well as the alignment and how I want that number to be formatted. I can also choose to set the numbering value. Maybe for some reason this is really kind of messed up and I need this to be number 9. Then I can set it for number 9. Obviously that would not work well here because we're missing number 8. But you certainly can set that value if you need to, and then it will continue on from there. So that means that this now will be number 10. Now, sometimes what's going to happen here is you use a numbered list or use a bulleted list and you decide that you want to change it. So you want to reverse it. So you want the numbered list now to be a bulleted list, or you want the bulleted list to be a numbered list. Very simple to do. In this case, all you got to do is just select again the range of lists that you would like to have bulleted And instead of using, let's say, the numbered list in this case, we can just come over to the bulleted list, either choosing the default one or certainly choosing from some of the other options that we have here. The other thing that I want to show you is, and let me just get this back to our numbers here, is you may find that you have a list from another document and you'd like to paste it into the current document that you're working with. But a lot of times the formatting's different, maybe even the fonts are different, even the bulleted list or numbered list might be a little bit different, and you'd like to bring that in. So I want to show you how that works. I'm just going to go out to this list that we have right here. Let me grab this Monday through Friday. Now this happens to be Arial size 12. We're using just some typical bullets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this and go back to my other document. And I'm going to click after the number 6. I'm going to hit enter. Notice now when I clicked on that, I made a number 7. Look at how it changed these numbers here. This is now a number 8. And what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and I'm going to paste that in. Now there's a couple different options. Usually I just do a Control V. It's nice, a quick little paste. But you can click on the paste drop down, and in 2010 you get what we call live preview. This is a really cool feature. And you can actually see what it's going to look like and how it's going to paste in here. So this is merge list, just bringing it in, but notice that the font is definitely different. It even looks a little darker, and that's because it's a little bit larger and it's Arial. This one here, don't merge list, so it says, you know what, bring it in. Don't convert it to the number 7, 8, and so on. And then we have this option right here is keep text only. And look what it did. It copied the exact text or format of this particular document. So we can continue those steps if we need to. Occasionally, you might have the need for multiple subsets of data, a list within a list. With multi-level list, you can choose from the default list or create your own. Multi-level list differs from a simple level list in that you can mix both numbers and bullets. I have two examples, first starting off with the second level bulleted list we used earlier. So in this list, you can see that we have our main bullets and then our sub-bullets underneath. I'm thinking of doing something here a little bit differently using the multi-list. I'm going to select the range of data. I'm going to come up to the multi-level list and click on the drop down. From here you can see I have several different choices, and you get like a little preview here, a little bit larger thumbnail of some of the options we have. So let's start out with this one right here. Now what it looks like is the different levels. So you can see the different levels are going to be different, whether it's a number 1, an A, a Roman numeral, a number 1, and so on. So let me click on that and give you an idea of what it looks like. So notice how it converted the main topics in this list here, the grocery store as well as Costco here, as 1 and 2. And now the sub-bullets are letters, A through D and A through C here. So that's one choice we have. Let's go ahead and choose another one here. There's also another one if you use any of the styles in Word, and you may want to check our styles video out. This is the styles section right here. But if you're using headings 1s, 2s, and 3s, what you're able to do is, as you're using them, is create a bulleted list automatically or a numbered list. So let me just show you that. So I'll go to the headings 1, 2, and 3, and you can see the numbering that they're using here, 1, 1.1, 1.1.1, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and what you'll notice is it converted it into a particular style and numbered it accordingly. Now let me show you an actual document that is using styles. Okay, so this particular document right here, we're using styles. So if I click on this heading right here, you can see it's heading 1. This one's heading 2, and this one appears to be heading 3. So again, you may have a procedure manual, and this is not a procedure manual, but at least it'll give you the idea here. A procedure manual that goes into multiple levels. I mean, there could be 4 or 5 levels deep. And this is really easy because if you're creating your document using styles, you can simply just click right on this drop down and choose maybe the heading one here. This probably works the best. And notice that it automatically gives you the level based on what the style heading level is. So you can see a level 1, a 1.1, 1.1.1, and so on. And the entire document is already formatted. Again, here's another level 1, and here's the level under it. You can always come under the drop down and decide to either change a leveled list define new multiple list. So again, coming in here, you can say level 1 will look like this, level 2 will look like this, and so on, and you can make those changes right here. You can also set the number alignment and the text alignment as well. Most of the time these are pretty good, but again, you might be building some kind of a special document. And you also have define new list style, where you can come right in and create a brand new style, give it a name. And as you're clicking on these different levels here, so here's level 1. You can see the different levels that we have here. Again, this is a more complex document if you're obviously going to have this many levels here. You can come in and you can decide on the font, the size, the color, and if it's going to be a bullet or a numbered list. And notice the drop-down choices that I have here, including some of my bullets that are in there in my bullet library, as well as some of the options I have in my numbers. Again, you can make this available only for this document or for new documents based off from this template. And this is really just giving you the details of the location of this particular bullet or numbering that you're about to create. There's also some formatting options that will give you some additional options that you can apply to this as well. Check out other Microsoft Word videos available on logontolearn.com.